Have you ever had nights where your body feels tired but your mind just won't rest? You toss, you turn, the clock moves slowly, but sleep never seems to come. Maybe you've tried pills, herbal teas, even counting sheep, but still, something isn't right. What if the real problem wasn't in your bedroom, but in your kitchen? Especially after 65, what we eat and when we eat can quietly shape how well we sleep, how deeply our heart recovers, and how calm our brain becomes before bedtime. The wrong foods in the evening don't just cause bloating or heartburn. They can actually trigger stress hormones, spike blood sugar, and rob your brain of the deep rest it needs to stay sharp. In this video, we'll gently uncover the 4 silent sleep killers, common foods that seem harmless but quietly disturb your nights, your memory, and even your heart rhythm. Backed by science, stories, and the wisdom of experience, you'll learn what to avoid after 7 p.m. and what to choose instead for sleep that actually heals. So make yourself comfortable, breathe in deeply, and let's begin with the first hidden sleep thief, one that's sitting in more homes than we realize. Let's start with something sweet, but dangerous: sugar. It's often part of our late-night comfort. Some cookies, a slice of fruit cake, or a little fruit juice before bed. It feels innocent, even calming. But here's what's happening behind the scenes. When you eat sugary foods after 7 p.m., your blood sugar rises sharply, especially since our insulin sensitivity naturally declines as we age. And after that rise comes the crash. That crash sends stress signals through your body, waking up the adrenal glands, increasing cortisol, the very hormone that fights against sleep. According to the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, older adults who consume sugar within 2 hours of sleep experience more nighttime awakenings, less deep sleep, and a higher chance of waking up anxious or restless. And it doesn't stop there. Sugar also causes spikes in insulin, which may trigger nighttime sweating, increase your need to urinate, or make you feel jittery, even when you're lying still. In other words, while your heart is trying to rest, sugar is quietly turning up the volume. Let's take the story of Mrs. Lamb, 74 years old, who always ended her evening with a small glass of orange juice and a sweet cracker. She thought it was helping her wind down, but she kept waking up around 2:30 a.m. night after night. Her doctor suggested cutting the sugar after dinner, and within a week, her sleep transformed. No more night sweats, no more 3 a.m. staring contests with the ceiling. The fix? It's simple. Instead of reaching for cookies or juice, try a small bowl of oatmeal with chia seeds, or a handful of blueberries, even a slice of banana with a spoon of almond butter. These options offer natural magnesium and fiber, which helps stabilize blood sugar and calm the nervous system, rather than excite it. So next time you feel like something sweet before bed, pause. Ask yourself, is this helping me rest or quietly waking me up? Now let's talk about something that many people over 65 do every night without thinking twice: enjoying a rich, heavy, or oily dinner. Maybe it's a plate of fried spring rolls, a generous bowl of beef stew, or even something as simple as eggs fried in oil and a piece of toasted bread with cheese. These foods may feel satisfying in the moment, especially on a cool evening when you want something warm and comforting. But here's the gentle truth. Your body at this age does not process these meals the same way it once did. After 65, the digestive system naturally slows down. Stomach acid decreases, gallbladder function isn't as efficient, and the pancreas doesn't respond as quickly to break down fats. So when you eat a high-fat meal late in the evening, particularly after 7 p.m., you're asking your entire digestive system to stay awake and work overtime, while the rest of your body is trying to wind down. And instead of supporting rest, this internal workload quietly steals your peace. According to a study published in the American Journal of Gastroenterology, older adults who consume high-fat meals in the evening are significantly more likely to suffer from nighttime reflux, heartburn, and sleep interruptions. And it's not just acid. Fat-rich meals can increase your body temperature at night, making it harder to fall asleep and stay asleep, especially in warmer climates. They also increase your heart rate, something that should be slowing down as your body prepares for deep rest. Take Mr. Tung, 71, a retired factory worker who shared his story at a sleep clinic in Hanoi. For years, he had a habit of enjoying a heavy dinner, often rice with fried mackerel or pork belly, plus pickled vegetables and a bowl of soup. But night after night, he'd wake up feeling hot, bloated, and strangely restless around 1 or 2 in the morning. His doctor recommended one simple change: reduce fried foods, and shift his heaviest meal to lunch instead of dinner. Within 2 weeks, his nighttime bloating improved, his sleep deepened, and he even lost a few centimeters around the waist. The change wasn't drastic, it was intentional. And that's where the power lies, not in removing joy from food, but in choosing foods that support the rhythm your body now needs. Because the truth is, as we age, rest becomes sacred. Every hour of deep sleep is a gift to the heart, the brain, and the immune system. And when we overload our system with fried, greasy, or heavy foods too late in the day, we rob ourselves of that healing time. Let's look at what heavy, high-fat foods actually do in the body. First, they delay gastric emptying, which means food sits longer in the stomach, increasing pressure and acid risk. Second, they stimulate bile release and fat digestion, a slow process that keeps your liver, gallbladder, and intestines working for hours. Third, they reduce melatonin production. Because the body is still metabolically active, the body doesn't want to sleep while it's still digesting. So what's the alternative? What can you eat that still feels warm, comforting, and satisfying, but doesn't weigh you down? Try a light vegetable soup with tofu or steamed fish, or a small serving of rice porridge with chopped greens and sesame oil. Even a soft-boiled egg with plain congee can be enough. These meals are gentle on digestion, soothing to the gut, and still provide warmth and fullness. You can also include foods rich in magnesium, like spinach, avocado, or pumpkin seeds, which help relax muscles and prepare the body for deeper rest. The key is moderation, timing, and awareness. You don't have to give up flavor. You simply shift it earlier in the day. Many long-living communities, like those in Okinawa or the Mediterranean, eat their largest meals at midday and their lightest meals at sunset. They sleep better, live longer, and report fewer digestive problems. And the science supports this. According to the Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine, seniors who ate a light evening meal at least 3 hours before bedtime were 35% more likely to sleep uninterrupted for 6 hours or more. That's a major difference, not just in how you sleep, but in how you feel the next morning. Because poor sleep doesn't just lead to tiredness, it increases inflammation, weakens memory, and even raises the risk of heart problems. So next time you're preparing dinner, ask yourself gently, is this helping my body rest or making it work harder through the night? Because after 65, your digestion needs more care, not because you're weak, but because your body is wise. It's asking for gentleness. It's asking for space, and your sleep deserves that space. A light meal, a calm stomach, a rested heart. Now let's move on to something that surprises most seniors, because it hides in plain sight. You may have already given up coffee after dinner, thinking caffeine is no longer part of your nightly routine. But what if I told you that caffeine could still be sneaking into your system, quietly disrupting your sleep, raising your heart rate, and leaving your brain restless long after your head hits the pillow? This is the danger of hidden caffeine, the silent stimulant that stays in your body longer than you think, especially after the age of 65. As we age, our liver's ability to break down caffeine slows dramatically. That means a cup of tea at 4 p.m. might still be in your bloodstream when you're lying in bed at 11 p.m. According to the Sleep Foundation and studies published in Sleep Health, older adults can take twice as long as younger people to metabolize caffeine. And that delay matters. Because caffeine doesn't just keep you awake, it suppresses melatonin, the natural hormone your body produces to signal sleep. When melatonin levels drop, your body doesn't know it's time to rest. Your brain stays alert, your muscles stay tense, your heart beats just a little faster than it should during sleep, and suddenly what should be a peaceful night becomes a light, interrupted, restless experience. Let's look at some common sources of hidden caffeine. Decaf coffee, which sounds like a safe choice, still contains between 15 to 30 milligrams of caffeine per cup. That's enough to disrupt sensitive sleepers. And studies from Consumer Reports have shown that some brands of decaf actually contain even more than labeled. Dark chocolate, often seen as a healthy evening treat, can carry anywhere from 25 to 80 milligrams of caffeine per serving. Even green tea, thought to be calming, contains caffeine unless labeled as decaffeinated. And many herbal teas marketed as bedtime blends actually include black or oolong tea as a base. Iced tea, soft drinks, energy waters, and even some pain relievers like Excedrin or Midol can also contain caffeine in doses that affect your sleep, especially when taken in the late afternoon or evening. This isn't about restriction, it's about awareness. The Journal of Clinical Sleep Medicine found that caffeine consumed even 6 hours before bedtime can reduce total sleep time by more than an hour. And in people over 65, the impact is even more pronounced. Why? Because the aging brain is more sensitive to overstimulation. The sleep architecture, meaning the stages of sleep, becomes more fragile. Caffeine doesn't just delay sleep, it interferes with the depth of your rest, especially the crucial, slow-wave sleep phase that helps consolidate memory and repair the heart and brain overnight. So what can you do instead? If you enjoy a warm drink in the evening, try caffeine-free herbal teas like chamomile, lemon balm, or passion flower. These not only contain no stimulants, but also promote calm through natural compounds like apigenin, which binds to receptors in the brain that reduce anxiety. If you crave something sweet and satisfying, choose banana slices with a dash of cinnamon, a combination rich in magnesium and tryptophan, which helps soothe the nervous system. Or try a small cup of warm almond milk, which contains calcium and melatonin, a perfect natural signal to the brain that sleep is near. The truth is, after 65, your body is not resisting sleep. It's just looking for the right signals. And when caffeine, even in small, hidden amounts, is present in the bloodstream, it confuses that signal. It keeps the body on guard, but you don't need to fight it. You just need to become gently aware. Look at your pantry, read your labels. Reconsider that harmless cup of tea or chocolate square. Ask yourself, is this helping my body wind down or quietly keeping it alert? Because peaceful sleep doesn't begin in bed. It begins in your choices, hours earlier. In your cup, in your plate, in your awareness. So tonight, give your brain the calm it craves. Let go of the hidden stimulants. Embrace slowness. Embrace softness. Because after 65, sleep isn't a luxury, it's your body's medicine. And the fewer silent saboteurs you feed it, the deeper your healing will be. Now we come to the final item on our list, and perhaps the most misunderstood. It's something many older adults turn to in the evenings, often without a second thought. A small glass of wine, a splash of brandy, a little something to relax the nerves before bed. For decades, alcohol has been seen as a nightcap, a ritual that helps us unwind and fall asleep faster. And while it's true that alcohol can help you doze off more quickly, the full story is more complicated and far more important after the age of 65. Because alcohol is what doctors call a false sedative. It tricks the brain into feeling sleepy. But once it's metabolized, which happens within hours, it begins to disrupt the most vital stages of your sleep cycle. According to a comprehensive review published in the Journal of the American Geriatric Society, alcohol significantly reduces REM sleep in older adults, the phase of sleep linked to memory consolidation, emotional processing, and brain repair. Without REM, your mind never gets to fully organize the events of your day. Your sleep may be longer, but it's lighter, more fragmented, and ultimately less restorative. But that's not the only concern. Alcohol also acts as a diuretic, pulling fluids out of the body and increasing the need to urinate at night, often causing 1, 2, or even 3 nighttime bathroom trips that break your sleep rhythm. It also relaxes the throat muscles, increasing the risk of snoring or sleep apnea, especially in those who are already vulnerable to breathing issues during sleep. And perhaps most seriously, alcohol before bed has been linked to higher risks of nighttime falls in older adults due to poor balance, delayed reaction time, and overnight confusion, particularly for those taking medications. After 65, our tolerance for alcohol decreases. The liver processes it more slowly, and its impact on the brain becomes more unpredictable. A single glass of wine may have felt fine in your 40s. At 70, it might leave you feeling groggy, irritable, or mentally foggy the next morning, even if you slept a full 8 hours. But here's the good news. Many seniors who reduce or eliminate evening alcohol report feeling more refreshed, emotionally stable, and mentally clear within just a few days. Sleep becomes more continuous. Dreams return, morning headaches and dry mouth disappear. And most importantly, they begin to trust their natural sleep cycle again. So if you've been using alcohol as a tool to fall asleep, consider replacing it with something that actually nourishes your body. A warm herbal tea, a soothing bedtime routine, or even soft music that signals safety and calm. The goal isn't to take away your comfort, it's to help you find a deeper one, a comfort that heals, not just numb, because your sleep after 65 is precious. It's not just rest, it's repair, it's recovery, It's your brain sorting, healing, remembering, and it deserves better than a chemical crutch. So let's take a breath now and gently bring everything together. Over the past few minutes, we've explored the four silent sleep killers that so often go unnoticed, especially in the lives of people over 65. First, sugar. It seems innocent, even soothing, but it spikes your blood sugar, disturbs your hormones, and leaves you tossing and turning. Second, heavy fatty meals. Comforting in the moment, but hard work for your digestion, and your sleep suffers for it. Third, hidden caffeine. It's not just coffee, it hides in chocolate, tea, and even painkillers. And for the aging brain, that lingering stimulation is enough to delay or damage your rest. And finally, alcohol, the nighttime ritual that feels like it helps, but quietly pulls you out of the deep, healing sleep you truly need. Each of these, alone, can disturb your nights. But combined, they can turn a quiet evening into hours of invisible unrest. The good news is that none of this requires a prescription. No equipment, no complicated changes, just awareness, just gentle choices. Just asking each evening, what does my body need to feel calm, safe, and ready to rest? Because after 65, your sleep isn't just about closing your eyes, it's about reopening your life, waking with clarity, with energy, with purpose. And that begins not in your dreams, but in your decisions, at dinner at dusk, and in the quiet hour before sleep. So tonight I invite you to reflect. What's one thing you could change? Just one. Swap the chocolate for fruit. Replace wine with tea. Eat dinner earlier. Turn down the light. And then notice. How does your sleep respond when you start treating it as sacred? Because peaceful nights are not a luxury. They are your birthright. Your body remembers how to rest. It just needs your help to find its rhythm again. If this video brought you clarity, inspiration, or comfort, I invite you to leave a comment below. Which habits surprised you the most? What change will you try tonight? Your stories matter, not just to us, but to every viewer who might feel alone in their struggle with sleep. And if you know someone, a parent, friend, or a neighbor, who could benefit from this gentle reminder, please share this video with them. Let's build a community where rest is honored, aging is respected, and every senior knows they are never forgotten. Thank you for spending your time with me this evening. May your night be calm, your breath deep, and your dreams gentle. Until next time, take care and rest well. If this video brought you clarity or comfort, please like it. It helps others like you find this message. And if you'd like more gentle, science-based guidance for life after 60, don't forget to subscribe. This is your space for peace, purpose, and practical wisdom.